Okay, so first you got to set up your grower, farm, field, and then once that's all set up, you go to your nav, and then where it says here straight underneath type, hit that, select field, and then if it's already selected field, this box might be empty. So if it's empty, you touch the box and hit new. But we've already got one. So once we're ready to go, we're in the right part of the field, you hit start, accept this, and now it's going to be recording. So if you see here, there's a little circle that come up, that's a 1, and it says that we're recording our swath. So now I'm going to start driving. So as I'm driving, we'll see a black line coming from behind the tractor. And then you make it around the field. Okay, we're approaching our starting point, so I'm going to drive right through the starting point. And when I do, a message will come up. Field swath complete. Okay. Do you want to change the swath? Yes, I do. So this is the headland management screen. So it's going to show you the path you took. It's going to ask you how many headlands you want, and then what kind of swath you want when you're done. So I'm going to say we want 2 headlands. Enter, and then I can accept that. So now up top here we've got round, edit, and boundary. Hit this round button and you can make your headlands square. So it doesn't, the version I made here doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because I made a round field. But if you had a regular field with square edges, it will try its best to make it so your second headland, you'll go right through the headland, and then you'll have to turn around and re-engage on another line this way. But because I did this circle, it's kind of not quite right. So we could do our second headland pass, and then after that we can switch to interior. So I'm just going to pause the video and we're going to do our second pass and go from there. As you can see, when we come up to the corners, sometimes it's going to want us to take a corner even though we have it set to square. It's going to follow it or take our tractor around this corner. So if you don't want to do that, as you approach the corner, just take control by moving the steering wheel and then drive however you choose to actually complete this corner. And then when you come back around, you can re-engage back on that line. Just like that. So we're going to continue the headland. So we've completed our second headland, which is all we want to do is 2 headlands. So now we can disengage the auto guidance by turning the wheel, and then this, you're able to come up to where it says square here now, but it might say round. So you hit that button and you hit interior. So now we have AB lines. I can change the direction of those AB lines if I want. I can go to this edit button, and then you can see how these A and B are just on the straightest part of my swath. Now I can move that A and B anywhere I want. So right now I've got active A is the active point, so I can touch somewhere on the line and A will move anywhere I want it to. Or you can move in small increments by hitting this button here. or this button here, and it'll move up and down that line there. If you wanted to move B, you hit that where it says active A, and you can hit B. Now you can move that wherever you want. So that's if you don't want to go against the road or something like that. You want to just change the direction of your AB line. But this is kind of a funny example again, but we're just going to go on a diagonal. So now my swath lines are going to calculate, and there they are. So as we're going along the field, we can at any time just find a line we want to snap to. I'm going to let the tractor turn around here first. And then say we want to go into that line, you hit the engage button, and now we're on that line. So the rest of the field is just the same as any other AB line setup, where you can go from one swath to the next. You can skip one if you want. You can pretty well do whatever you want. But now we've got all of our interior set up in ABs, so that should be good. Alright, now I'll pause that again. So let's say we're doing an outside round on a field, and there's something in front of us, like a tree or a culvert or something, that we want to go around, but we don't want our second headland to go around it also. So to do that, you hit this pause button, and then once you've got that paused, now you can drive wherever you want. Go around something. And then once you're around it and back on your line where you wanted to go, you can hit the pause button again. So when you hit the pause button again, it's going to snap a straight line from where you were to where you are. And then when we start driving again, you see that? Straight line snap between. And that way we're able to avoid that on the second pass. So the next thing, if we're coming along and our start point we're not able to reach it when we get to our stop point, say you're in a corner and they just don't quite line up, then this is again a funny example, but if we just hit this stop button, we get a message that comes up, and basically it's saying that if you hit this done button, it's going to snap a straight line between the start and finish. So again, if we're in a corner and we're not going to drive right over where we were initially, you do this, and then so when you hit done, you change the swath, yes. We'll just accept this. And if you see, we're here, and it snapped a straight line to where we started. So now we've got a complete loop for our field swath.